Hello everyone, welcome back to video 3 of Full Stack Web Development for Beginners. So in video 2, where we left off, we kind of created this create and seed tables endpoint, which created our database library and added some tables and some data inside those tables. So let's go ahead and move on from that. So we're going to look at adding Webpack into our app for some script bundling handlebar templates, and let's get right into it. So we no longer need this create and seed tables endpoint. We only need to run that one time, and since our database is already created and seeded, let's go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, so next we have quite a bit of npm modules that we need to install. So let's come down here to our git bash terminal and run npm I for install. And we're going to need Webpack, Webpack-CLI, Webpack-node-externals, mini CSS extract plugin, and we'll see kind of what these packages are shortly. So don't worry too much right now if you don't know what's going on. CSS-loader, bootstrap, popper.js, jQuery, and express-handlebars, and don't forget the -- save at the end. So go ahead and install all those packages. Okay, so we got all that installed. So now let's come back here to app.js. So let's set up handlebars template engine, and we're going to do app.engine. It's going to be HBS for handlebars, and then the second argument, and we're going to say extension name is going to be HBS, and this is going to tell the template engine to look for files with an extension of .hbs. So we could have called this whatever, but we're going to leave it at that. We'll set our default layout to main, and then we're going to need to point to a layouts directory. We're going to just have that in the root directory /views/layouts. And then partials directory, and I'll explain what these are shortly. These are going to be in /views/includes directory. And then come down here and let's do app.set view engine to handlebars. And of course we also need to include or require express handlebars. So come up here and let's just do const HBS require express -handlebars. And that's kind of what we're using to pass down into here to specify all this. So now that we have our app looking for handlebar templates to render to our UI, let's go ahead and add a bunch of files and folders here. So if we come over here to the root of our app, we're going to add a new folder called views, and then inside of views we're going to add another new folder that's going to be includes. And then inside of views again, we're going to have layouts. And then inside of layouts, we're going to create our main template, which handlebars requires. So main.hbs. And then just to kind of test this out, let's just create a new view in the views directory. We'll just call it hello world.hbs. Just to kind of make sure our templates are working. I'll just say in an h1 tag. So I'm now in the hello world.hbs file. I'm going to say hello world from handlebars. So just kind of see that this is working. So then if we come back to app.js and we come to our home route here, instead of res.send hello world, we're going to do res.render, and then we're going to render a handlebar template, and we have one that's called hello world, so we'll just fill that in, hello world, all one word. We also need to come into our main template here. So here in layouts, open up main.hbs, and then if we just do a exclamation point and then push tab, it'll kind of scaffold us a whole bunch of standard, just, you know, head tag, HTML tag, body tag. And down here in the body, let's just do 3 curly braces and then the word body. Okay, save that. Let's go back to our browser here. Let's refresh. There we go. So now we have hello world from Handlebars. So we are loading a handlebar template when we hit the home route. So Handlebars is working. So next, let's set up Webpack to do some client and server script bundling. Back here on your root directory, let's create a new file, and we'll just call this webpack.client.config.js. This is going to be the client Webpack configuration file, and then let's do another one for the server. So webpack.server.config.js. So in the client Webpack config file, let's first import the mini CSS extract plugin, because this is what's going to help us bundle our CSS into one complete aggregated file. So const mini CSS extract plugin equals require mini CSS extract plugin. Yep. Okay, and then let's do a module.exports here, and then let's go ahead and define all of the rules for Webpack here. Let's go ahead and set the mode to development, and this is going to keep our script bundles unminified. And then let's set the entry point to library.public/js/script.js. And that's basically saying Webpack is going to start in this script.js file, which, by the way, we have yet to add here. So we'll create this file shortly. Start here and look for all of the dependencies in this file and kind of go into those dependencies and pull all of the code into one unified JS file. So it's kind of a way to just aggregate all the code. And then we're going to spit it out. So the output of this, we're going to say file name. We'll just put the word name in square brackets, and then bundle.js. And when we do something like this, it's basically just going to grab whatever the name that you gave the entry point to here. So since we named it library, it's going to put library.bundle.js. Okay, so let's set the path, open close tick marks, and let's do some template literal concatenation. So underscore underscore dir name /public/dist. And so what this is kind of saying is we want to start here in the script file, run through this file and grab all of the code, all of the dependencies, put it all into one unified file called library.bundle.js, and then stick that file in this path. So it's going to create a new directory for us named dist, and it's going to put the bundle inside of that. So that's the output. We're going to use a plugin here to work with our CSS. So new mini CSS extract plugin. And then let's go ahead and pass in file name. So we're going to say we want the file to again be name.bundle.css. And then let's give it some rules here. So this is an array of objects. We're going to say for every .css file that you come across, use our mini CSS extract plugin .loader CSS loader. So this actually will load these right to left. So it's going to come down here and it's going to say for all CSS files we run into, we're going to first use the CSS loader plugin and then run it through the mini CSS extract plugin loader rule. And there's a great Webpack tutorial that kind of explains all this in much greater depth, much better than I can explain it. And I will put a link to that person's tutorial in the description of this video. It's highly recommend watching it if you want to learn more about Webpack. So this is basically going to take and spit us out two bundle files. One is a JavaScript bundle and one of them is a CSS bundle. So that's Webpack on the client. Now let's go over to Webpack on the server. It's going to be a little bit similar, but we're going to use node externals. So const node externals equals require Webpack node externals And then let's pull in the path. So const path equals require path, and then module.exports. Similarly, we're going to do mode development. Target is node. So because we're bundling server-side JavaScript, and so set the target to node. Externals, we're going to use the node externals package, and this is basically just going to make sure that Webpack ignores everything inside of node modules and doesn't include that in the bundle. So entry is going to be server./app.js. So we're saying start at app.js and kind of run through that file and bundle all of it up and all of its dependencies into one file. And then output, where do we want to spit the bundle file out, is going to be, give it a file name, similarly name.bundle.js. Path is going to be path.resolve _dir name /build. So we're going to put it into a directory called build in the root of our project. And again, it's going to take the name of whatever you gave it here. So it should end up being server.bundle.js. Let's go ahead and save that file. And then let's make sure we're over here on our left at the root of our project, and let's create a new folder. Let's call it public. And then inside of public, we'll create another new folder called CSS. Again, inside public, another new folder called JS. And then another new folder in public called IMG for the images that we're going to eventually have in here. And then open up the CSS folder, create a new file. We'll just call it styles.css. This is where we're going to kind of add all of our CSS rules. And then inside of the JS folder, we're going to create a new file, script.js. And then so we installed jQuery, Bootstrap, and let's go ahead and get those imported. So at the top of our script file, let's go ahead and require /css/styles.css. And so what we're doing here is we're going to pull in our style sheet, which is in public CSS styles.css, into our script file here. And this is so that when Webpack starts at script.js, it's going to run through and it's going to see this style sheet and it's going to package it into another CSS bundle. So we're going to include that up here. Then we're going to include jQuery because Bootstrap depends on jQuery still. And then we're going to import Bootstrap /dist/js/bootstrap.bundle. And then let's go ahead and just console log out the $sign to make sure that we have jQuery properly loading. Save that file. And then go ahead and open up styles.css. And up at the very top, we're just going to, for now, we're going to import Bootstrap. So at import, and then in single quotes, the tilde, and then bootstrap /dist/css/bootstrap.min.css. And if you're wondering where these files are coming from, it's actually being pulled from node modules. So if we expand this, we should have a folder called Bootstrap because we installed it at the beginning of the video, and we have dist css bootstrap.min.css. So we're pulling in the minified Bootstrap file. Let's go back up. Let's collapse node modules here. Save this. Let's go ahead and hit Control-C to stop our server. And then let's go into package.json, and we're going to update our start script to run Webpack and then start up the Express server. What this is going to look like is instead of node app.js, we're going to have to run our Webpack config scripts here. So we have two of them to run. So we're going to have to run 3 commands here when we do npm start. So the first one is going to be webpack --config webpack.server.config.js. And so what this is saying is run the Webpack server config file, which is going to go through and bundle up all of our server files. Then once that is done, we'll do and webpack --config webpack.client.config.js. And this is going to then run the Webpack client config, which is start at script and then bundle all of our client-side scripts into one CSS bundle and one JavaScript bundle. And finally, when that's done, we're going to do and node.build/server.bundle.js. And so instead of running node app.js, we're going to have a server bundle file that is going to contain the code that app.js has. So we're going to go ahead and run that file instead of app.js. And once we run all this, we'll see how it kind of builds these bundle files for us. Let's go down here and if I don't have any typos, let's try to run npm start. And nope, there's something going on here. I wonder what I did. Oh, I got a misspelling in there. So Webpack server config. I can't believe I missed that. So const. Okay, fix that. Run npm start. Okay. All right, server started on port 5000. Okay, so let's see here. We have a new directory in our public directory called dist, and if we go inside, we have library.bundle.css and library.bundle.javascript. So if I pull these up, they're going to look a little crazy. This is some like Webpack wrapper code, but buried in here, we'll see that this is all Bootstrap, because we included that. jQuery is in here as well. So Webpack basically just bundled all that stuff up into one file. So it's pretty handy, and then we can just go ahead and include those bundle files in our templates rather than having to load them all up one by one. So let's go ahead and make sure that we can still hit our home directory. Okay, so this is still working, hello world from Handlebars. So now let's go into our views, layout main.hbs, and then in here we're going to add a little bit of Bootstrap front-end code to kind of ensure that Bootstrap's working. So let's add a section tag with an ID of app. This will just be our kind of wrapper tag, and then let's put it all in a Jumbotron, which is a Bootstrap styled div element, and then we can go ahead and cut and paste the body inside of there. And then at the very bottom we need to include script source equals, actually before we do this I forgot one thing, so save this file, come back over to app.js. We need to tell Express to serve our public files here, our static files. We need to tell Express to serve those up. So we'll do app.use, and we'll say /static, and then express.static, and then the public directory. So what we're kind of saying here is we're telling Express to look inside of our public directory, which is here, and everything inside of here should be served up to the client under the URL /static. So like, for example, if we wanted to access our script file here, it would be /static/js/script.js. So now that we have that, we'll be able to access these two bundle files. So come back to main.hbs and let's go ahead and add our script tag. So script source equals /static/dist/library.bundle.js. And then similarly up here in the head we need to include our CSS. So if we just write the word link and hit tab, it will build us a style sheet tag for us, and we can do /static/dist/library.bundle.css. That's going to include our custom CSS plus Bootstrap, because we included Bootstrap on the top of our CSS file. So now if we run this, we should see some Bootstrap styling come through, and we should see the jQuery $ be console logged out. So let's go come down here and do Control-C to stop our server and run npm start once again. It's going to go through and redo the Webpack bundling magic, start the server up. Let's come over here, let's refresh our home route, And now we can see that we have hello world from Handlebars. We have our jQuery object being console log over here to the right. So jQuery is being included, Bootstrap is being included. If we inspect this, we can see div class Jumbotron, and it's coming from library.bundle.css. And these are Bootstrap classes, right? I didn't write these. That handles Webpack and Handlebars. So let's quickly come down here and let's do Control-C to stop our server. Let's run our git status here, and we can see that we have a whole bunch of stuff that we added. So let's go ahead and do a git commit -am, and we can say add Webpack bundling on client and server, add Handlebars templating, client JS and CSS. So go ahead and commit that, and we'll do git push origin master. Go ahead and get that pushed up to our GitHub repository, and that's going to conclude video 3 here. So I will have a link in the description for video 4, and next we're going to kind of dive deeper in handlebar templating and really start to build out our user interface. So hope to see you all there, and thanks again for watching. See ya.